How to never get overwhelmed again. Hi, friends, it's Katerina Satori, and I am not a stranger to overwhelm. I feel if you are alive on the planet right now, there are so many opportunities to get swept under the tidal wave of energy that feels so overwhelming. I'd like to share with you what exactly that I do that helps me quickly turn around that energy. And it all begins with how I see overwhelm. You see, in the past, I thought overwhelm was kind of like a natural experience that you go through if you have too much on your plate. And as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a solo entrepreneur, that means I wear many hats, right? I'm the creator, I'm also a CEO, I am a teacher, I'm a coach, and there is many retreat leader, there is many plates that I spin, and there's many hats that I wear. And this is exciting because I'm never bored in my life. I'm never bored in my business. But from time to time in the past, I would get into this, oh my gosh, can I really hold it all? And I remember I had this breakthrough. The overwhelm is illusionary thought that says you get to resolve everything that is unresolved in your life right now. So basically, an overwhelm is a confused thought. It's a stressed thought that tells you that you need to find all the answers to all your questions, resolve everything in your life right now. The truth of the matter, you can only attend to one thing at a time with quality and presence. So when you have that thought, oh my God, I gotta solve this all now, simply recognize it's an overwhelm mechanism and you can turn it around by choosing to see it differently. By saying to yourself, you know what? I know I feel the pressure right now, and it feels like I get to solve everything in one moment, and the world will end if it's not gonna be solved right now. And what I'm gonna do, I'm actually not going to engage with that thinking. I'm going to question it. So the first solution is to question any thought that creates stress, anxiety, inner tension, inner conflict. Whenever those thoughts come, they don't come from your higher self. They don't come from your soul. They come from ungrounded energy, ungrounded, confused part of the mind, of the brain. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep last night. Maybe you ate food that irritated your gut and it affected your brain, right? There's many different factors that contribute to how clearly or not clearly we think each day. So, starting with the mind, you say, okay, I am beginning to spin in the mind. Let me pause and recognize that. And by recognizing your mental spin into an overwhelm, you actually can see it objectively. You can remind yourself, you know what? I can only effectively take care of one thing at a time. So you pause, and before you go to that one thing at a time, I invite you to experiment with one of the grounding practices. In order for you to stop overwhelm, I encourage you to go outside and actually take your shoes off and make sure that you have bare feet on the grass. You want to, or you can experiment with grounding, right? Like really grounding. You can shake your body. You can imagine that all this energy that build up begins to go into the ground. And the affirmation that I'd like to offer you, it's a grounding affirmation. It says, I am so grateful to be here. I am grateful to be here. I am grateful to be here. And begin to chant it like a mantra. I am grateful to be here. I am grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here. Now, the second tool is that will immediately create liberation for your mind. Of course, it's start turning your thought into something that you can accept, right? Like, wow, it feels overwhelming, but look, my work is in high demand. It feels overwhelming. Where's an opportunity here? wow, it feels overwhelming, it means I am strong enough to meet this energy. Sometimes to go from stressful state into a calm state is too big of a leap. So if you can find the bridge of acceptance, making peace with what you are experiencing instead of fighting it or trying to change it too fast. You want to say, I'm experiencing this, it's uncomfortable, I really don't want to be here. But what if, maybe first time in my life, I'm going to get curious about this energy? Maybe I am going to lean in and actually begin to work with it like an alchemist, right? An alchemist is you can use any energy that is arising within him or her to turn it into a higher essence energy. So you become curious, you accept your experience. And then, the most miraculous things happen when you enter acceptance, another word for neutrality, right? This kind of you deactivate the resistance and you enter into acceptance. Okay, I'm going to open my heart to this experience. What is happening, you begin to soften, you begin to relax. And the moment you begin to relax, your mind begins to release. The tension gets to release. And then you may receive an inspiration. You may begin to laugh. You may begin to realize you've just started taking it all too seriously. You may begin to remember this life, this physical dimension, is a very lovely, lovely dream-like experience. It's a very short dream, all right? So the sooner we learn how to be awake within the dream, how to remain aware, awake, curious, engage with the dream, but don't get lost into it. Open your heart to it, but don't be frightened by it. And when you do get frightened by this dream nature reality, you just say, I'm having an experience. I'm having an experience that feels like I'm afraid or I'm frightened. I'm going to get curious about it. Curiosity is such a powerful energy that how would I call it? What would be the name for it? It basically deactivates resistance, deactivates stress, deactivates worry, deactivates spinning of the mind. You're just like, I am going through this. And in the past, I would push it away. In the past, I would pretend that I don't have time to deal with this. Now I know whatever energy, whatever emotions I don't attend in the moment, they're just going to lodge in the body. They're just going to keep being buried in the body. And I actually love my body. I love being healthy. I love being grounded. I don't want stuck emotions to create anything unnecessary health-wise in the future. Did you know that pretty much all major physical illnesses have roots in emotional blocks, in emotional stagnated energy, whether it is unforgiveness or grief or guilt or self-shame or self-hate? All of those energies have huge consequences and huge impact on our physical health and vitality. So the more we learn to work with energies, whether it's overwhelm, anxiety, worry, fear of the future, on this physical plane, we are on the plane of emotions. This is a very emotional human journey. And when we begin to navigate through the sea of our emotions as skilled captains, we can experience this life, with deep richness. We can develop a capacity to feel deeply, not to be afraid to feel deeply. But we also can develop a capacity to transform our turbulent emotions into a calm inner lake. So that's how I work with overwhelm. And if you'd like to receive my morning practice that I give away pretty much on every video that I make, because how you start your morning is how you're going to spend your day, right? How you're going to spend your days, how you're going to spend your week, how you're going to spend your week is how you're going to spend your month. So everything is a result of how you start your morning. So when you make your morning practice exciting, energizing, inspiring, you begin to lead your day. You begin to create a day that is full of aliveness, full of joy, full of presence. And when obstacles or challenges come, because they will, you can see them objectively. You can welcome them as, unique teachers that come to help you unlock new abilities and new powers within yourself, right? So you can download this PDF and the audio and the video that I have called Ignite Your Morning underneath this video. Another invitation that I share with people is to begin to release the language. So many times I hear from my clients and my students, Katerina, I'm so overwhelmed. This is so overwhelming. Our language has a capacity to create or to destroy. Whatever you affirm remains true for you. Whatever you affirm remains in power over you, right? Substitute with this. I am going through experience that feels overwhelming right now. You see how different it is? You are objectively noticing, I'm moving through experience, I'm going through experience, and parts of it feels overwhelming. You're not blending overwhelm with your identity by saying, I am so overwhelmed, right? Huge difference. It may feel like a slight shift, but it's going to make a huge difference because you're not going to blend your identity with disempowering experience. You want to affirm powerful identity, powerful sense of self, truly spiritually empowered sense of self that can navigate any obstacle or challenge and has the tools and practices. Speaking of practices, in a few days, I'm going to invite you to a very experiential journey where I will share my daily practices, not only just name them, but actually we have an opportunity to practice together. I am really big on creating empowered habits. Our life is a reflection of our habits. Our life is a reflection of our practice. So the more we elevate, what are our daily habits? Do they help us grow? Do they help us become more present? Do they help us become more inspired? Do they help us become more aware? So our life is a reflection of our daily habits, of our daily practice. And we can change the habits, or you can change the results that you experience in your life. Overwhelm is a temporary experience that you can engage with from a completely different point. You can see it as a fleeting tidal wave that you, as a skillful surfer or a captain, can navigate and move through. And every time you begin to realize that your soul cannot be overwhelmed. Your soul is eternal, wise, overseeing your journey. Yes, some part of your mind can get overwhelmed. Maybe even the body can get overwhelmed, right? But it's a temporary experience, and you can begin to train yourself in engaging with it differently. Thank you so much for joining this video. I hope to see you next time where I create a new video or announce a new program. And remember, your soul cannot get overwhelmed.